Hello, I am Josh, and welcome to Fractured Frontiers. You think you know the American divide? You think it's just about who you vote for every 4 years? That it's about loud arguments on cable news or angry posts on social media? You're wrong. While we've all been watching the political theater, something much deeper, much more permanent has been happening underneath. Red states and blue states, they're not just arguing anymore. They are quietly, methodically, and very, very deliberately de-risking from each other. They are building separate energy grids. They're creating entirely different laws for technology and for money. And they are forcing the country's biggest, most powerful companies to choose a side. This isn't just a culture war anymore. That's the story they want you to follow. This is what I call the Great Divergence. It's the story of how America is actively fracturing into two competing economic systems. And it's happening much, much faster than you think. So, where does a divide this big even begin? Well, it starts with the most basic thing: people. People are moving in massive numbers. You've probably heard about this, but the question is why? Is it really just because they don't like their neighbors' politics? Is it really just about culture? No. The real answer is colder. It's more calculated, it's economic. It's not a conspiracy, you can literally just follow the U-Hauls. For years now, the data has shown a massive one-way migration out of states like California, New York, and Illinois, and into states like Texas, Florida, and Tennessee. This isn't a small trend, this is a seismic shift in people, and, more importantly, in tax dollars. But the real story, the one that should make you sit up, isn't just about people, it's about capital. They call it the Texodus. In just the last few years, corporate giants, I'm talking about Tesla, Oracle, Hewlett-Packard, literal pillars of Silicon Valley, have packed their bags and moved their headquarters from California to Texas. Now, stop and think about that for a second. Why would a company leave Silicon Valley, the global center of innovation and venture capital, for Austin? The simple answer is taxes, regulations, and housing costs. California's model is expensive, it's complex. Texas's model is, well, it's simple. It's come here, build your thing, and we will get out of your way. But it's the human trade-off that really tells the story. Imagine you're a software engineer in San Francisco. You get an offer to move with your company to Austin. Suddenly, your salary, which felt fine in California, now makes you feel rich. Your rent is cut in half. You can actually think about buying a house, but there's a trade. Your political voice? Your vote in a statewide election? It's effectively gone, diluted in a sea of red. The social policies you might have taken for granted in California? They're either gone or they're the opposite. That is the trade-off. And millions of people and dozens of corporations are making that exact calculation. But this move, this migration, it isn't just about escaping something. It's about choosing something. It's about choosing a completely different economic future. And this is where the two fortresses are being built. To understand the Great Divergence, you really only need to understand two states: Fortress California and Fortress Texas. They are the two poles of this new fractured America. They aren't just states anymore. They are competing models for 21st century capitalism. On one side, you have Fortress California. California's philosophy is what you'd call the stakeholder model. The idea is that a state and the companies in it are responsible for more than just profit. They're responsible for the environment, for social equity, for their employees. California's economic engines are new money: green tech, big tech, software, AI, and Hollywood. And its weapon is regulation. California is so massive, its economy is so huge, that it doesn't just make laws for itself, it makes laws for the entire country. Here's the perfect example: car emissions. California's emissions standards are so strict that car companies like Ford and GM can't afford to build two different cars, one for California and one for the rest of the country. So they just build everyone's car to California's standard. That is economic imperialism. California uses its regulatory power to force the rest of the country to bend to its will. And on the other side, you have Fortress Texas. Texas is the mirror opposite. It runs on the shareholder model. It is simple, it is brutal, it is efficient. The philosophy is that the purpose of a business is to make a profit. Period. The purpose of the state is to get out of the way and let that happen. Its economic engines are old money, but also hardware, oil and gas, what they'd call freedom energy, logistics, and now hardware tech like Tesla's factories. And its weapon? Anti-regulation. Texas doesn't just ignore federal rules, it actively sues the federal government to stop them. And the most telling example of all? The Texas power grid, ERCOT. Many people don't realize this, but Texas built its own power grid, separate from the rest of the country, specifically to escape federal oversight. Think about that. How deep does the divide have to be for a state to say, no, we will build our own power grid, thank you very much? So you have these two massive, powerful fortresses. California, imposing its will through regulation. Texas, building a haven based on anti-regulation. For a long time, this rivalry was just a rivalry. But now it has spilled over. It's no longer a Cold War. It's a hot war, and it's being fought on three new battlegrounds. The battlegrounds that will define the entire 21st century: energy, data, and money. This is where the great divergence gets really serious. Battleground number 1, the energy war. You might have heard the term ESG. It stands for environmental, social, and governance. It sounds boring. It sounds like corporate HR speak. It is not. This is where trillions of dollars are being fought over. Here's how it works. Blue states, led by California and New York, are all in on ESG. They are using their massive state pension funds, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars, to divest from fossil fuels. They are putting pressure on the world's biggest banks and asset managers like BlackRock to do the same. They are using money as a weapon to force climate policy. But the red states? They are not just taking it. They are fighting back. Led by Texas and West Virginia, they are passing their own laws, anti-ESG laws. These laws boycott the boycotters. Texas passed a law that prohibits the state from doing business with any bank that discriminates against oil and gas companies. This is a full-blown capital war being fought with your 401k and your pension. It is two different ideas about what money is, fighting for control. Battleground number 2, digital sovereignty, or the Splinternet. We tend to think of the internet as one global thing, but it's already fracturing. And it's not just fracturing between the US and China, it's fracturing inside America. In California, the government is building a privacy and safety internet. They passed the CCPA, a sweeping data privacy law that gives you control over your personal data. They're passing laws about content moderation to protect kids. Meanwhile, in red states like Texas and Florida, they are building a free speech internet. They passed laws that try to stop social media companies based in California, from deplatforming or censoring political figures. Now just imagine you are Google or Facebook or X. You are now operating in one country where you have two completely different and contradictory sets of rules for how you're supposed to handle speech and how you're supposed to handle data. It's a logistical nightmare, it's a legal minefield, and it is the beginning of a truly fractured American internet. And finally, battleground number 3, the talent war. This is the one that gets the most attention. This is where the culture stuff comes in. But at its core, this is a purely economic story. The social policies that red and blue states are passing, they are no longer just social. They are economic policies. Blue states, with their strong protections for things like LGBTQ+ rights and abortion access, are making an economic argument. They are arguing that they are the only places that can attract the high-skill, highly educated, progressive, creative class that defines the modern tech and media economy. Red states are making the opposite economic argument. By focusing on lower cost of living, lower taxes, and what they call traditional values, they argue they are the ones attracting the families, the skilled laborers, and the workers who are tired of the woke corporate culture of the blue states. This has created an impossible choice for companies. They are now being forced to ask, where can I actually find the workers I need? And which set of values will my employees and my customers force me to adopt? This brings us to the climax of this whole story. For decades, America's biggest corporations had a very simple, very smart playbook. Stay neutral. Stay out of politics. Donate to both sides, just sell your products. And then Disney happened. The battle between Disney and the state of Florida. This was the moment everything changed. This was the moment a historically apolitical, a company that was the establishment in Florida, suddenly found itself in a bare-knuckle political brawl with the state's governor over a social issue. This event sent a shockwave, a panic, through every single boardroom in America. It was the moment they all realized, oh, neutrality is over, we can't hide anymore. We will be forced to choose a side. And this realization has led to a brand new corporate strategy. It's one I call internal de-risking. De-risking is a geopolitical term. It's a strategy that corporations and countries use when they're dealing with an unstable or unpredictable foreign nation. Like China, for example. You don't put all your factories in one country just in case. You diversify. You hedge your bets. For the first time in history, America's biggest companies are now applying that exact same logic to the United States. They are looking at the Great Divergence, at the energy war, at the Splinternet, at the talent war, and they are treating Red America and Blue America as two different, competing, politically unstable countries. They are de-risking within America. Why do you think Goldman Sachs, the quintessential New York bank, is building a massive multi-billion-dollar new campus in Dallas? Why did Boeing move its headquarters from Chicago to Virginia? Why is Amazon building HQ2s and HQ3s? It's not random. They are building lifeboats. They are building redundancy. They are setting up major operations in both blocks, in both economies, so that no matter which America wins the next political fight, no matter which set of regulations comes down, they will be able to survive. This isn't a theory. The fact that corporations are spending billions of dollars on this strategy proves the fracture is real, but it raises a terrifying final question. What happens next? Can any country actually operate like this? We are no longer one American economy. We are a federation of two competing economic blocks, each with its own capital, its own rules, and its own values. The great sort of people and capital is accelerating. The energy war is pitting ESG against anti-ESG in a battle for trillions of dollars. And the Splinternet is forcing tech companies to navigate two different legal realities. And at the very top, corporations are now de-risking against their own country. For the last 50 years, the biggest geopolitical risk for a global company was which country to invest in. China? India? Brazil? Now, for the world's largest companies, the biggest geopolitical risk is which America to choose. This great divergence is, to me, the single most important geopolitical story happening inside the world's superpower. And it means the real question for America's future. It isn't just who wins the next election. It's whether a single nation can survive two entirely different and two entirely hostile economic systems, operating within the same border. This is the kind of story we cover at Fractured Frontiers. The hidden economic and political fractures that are really shaping your world. If you found this valuable and if you want to understand these deeper forces, please subscribe now. And I really want to know what you think. Are you living in this divide? Do you feel it where you are? And in this great battle between Fortress California and Fortress Texas, which model do you actually think will win? Let me know in the comments. This is Josh, signing off. Thank you for watching and take care out there.